Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make a little card that looks something like this. It's like a frame that you're going to put together yourself inside the card. So it's really cute. This is just a mock-up. Obviously I needed this paper to be a little bit wider, so I kind of made notes about that to cover this edge here. Or I should have tucked this in better, I don't know, but I've kind of worked those things out a little bit. So hopefully you guys think it's a cute idea. I got the idea of a card that looks like this from a Hunky Dory set that actually I have here. But first I had seen a video of theirs a while back that I thought was really cute. And Hunky Dory does a lot of the things where all you do is pop out the papers and then put it together, kind of assemble it. So I just had an idea of how to make the frame myself. So there's gonna be some math involved. It shouldn't be too hard though, guys. I think you'll enjoy it, hopefully. And then, you know, you just decorate your little card however you like. So I just used some Hunky Dory papers, and that's what's basically in here. I still would need like a sentiment, you know. But what's cute is that inside here you can make something dimensional. So this is just the two little pieces of decoupage, really. I didn't do too much. I was going to use this Hunky Dory stack to make the new card, but because I have a lot of things that we can kind of stack up or do other fun things with, this is the stack that I got the papers from for the card I just showed you. I'm not real familiar how to use these paper stacks, and they're a little different. But I figured, you know what we should do, and since I was really wanting to use it, was the Crafter's Companion Dashing Deer character die. And I think that would be really cute. So when you open it, the little deer is inside. I think he's about the perfect size to go in there. So the aperture, the opening here, let me measure it real quick because I really don't even know how big it is. It is about 2 3/4 by 4 1/8-ish large. And that's because I chose to make this 3/4 inches wide. If you want to make this an inch wide or make it a smaller spot, that's up to you. This card is a 5.5 by 4 1/4 inch card, so it's your standard A2 size card. And that's just how I made it. I think the Hunky Dory one might be a little bit smaller, but you can make this larger. You just have to do the math, right? So I'm going to show you how to make a standard A2 size card with a little built-in frame. Now, I had several different mock-ups. These are the last ones that I ended up with, I guess, the ones I finalized with. And you see I have some notes here, so I need to redo my lighting. I'm so sorry. You know what? Actually, it's because it's early morning. If I start filming like in the noon time, it's okay. But right now, the sun is just kind of in a different spot. So let me talk real quickly. Like I said, I made up my own little mock-up. What you're going to need basically is some cardstock, probably 2 different papers, or however you want to decorate the front of your card. All those things is separate from the tutorial. Okay, so as far as I will stick to showing you how to make the frame, and then I'll decorate it, but obviously it's whatever you want. So these are slightly different size. This is the first one I made up, but then I realized the card was only going to be 4 by 5 1/4, and I wanted it to be a standard A2, so I remade the template and I made this. So I'm gonna show you how to make your own template, and then from that, I mean, I can make this a frame if I wanted to, really. I could use this one, but this is my template. So you're gonna need a scoring tool. If you have one that has 1/8 in it, that'd be better, but you really only need quarters, okay? So, because we're basically doing our scoring at quarter inch marks or 1/2 inch, those kind of things. And so you're gonna need, like I said, your cardstock for your frame, cardstock for the card, whatever decorations you want. And then of course you're gonna need either a ruler and a X-Acto, or your cutting tool, which for me is just, right now is just this cheap one that I bought probably over a decade ago, just a Fiskars one. But what I like about this, and some other ones have a wire in here, is that you can see where you're cutting. See, it has like little registration marks. So if I put this somewhere, I know that's where it's going to start, and then as long as I slide it, I can see where the line is actually going to be with these little marks. So that's why I like these. I think other ones also have those kind of marks. So we can, you know, rely on those marks to help us out. So let me grab the things that I'm going to use and we'll get started. Okay guys, so to start off we are going to need, and this is just to make your template. Now you can do this right on your card, but I'm going to show you to make a template because then you're going to use that same thing later. The template's not important for the outer measurements, it's this inner part. Like, I don't want to have to calculate it every single time. Not really calculate it, but go in and try to make this look nice and perfect. So it's nice to have a template that we're going to write on it and then just use your tools instead of trying to measure it out. So that's really what the template's about, because otherwise it's pretty basic. So you need a piece of paper, and this could be, again, the frame you're going to use, or you're just to make a template. You need it to be 7 by 5 3/4 inches. Okay, so 7 by 5 3/4 inches, and we are going to score this at 1/2 inch in on either side and all sides, so 1/2 inch. And then again at 3/4, which is basically 1/4 inch from there, right? Because our frame is going to be 1/4 inch deep. And that other 1/2 inch is going to tuck around. So that's kind of, I made it big at 1/2 inch because I wanted to have a lot of surface area to put glue to hold it down, right? To hold your frame. So, oops, so again, 1/2 inch and then 3/4. We're going to turn this 1/2 inch and then 3/4. On all 4 sides, 1/2 inch, 3/4. And of course this is handmade, it's not going to be perfect. Even the template's going to help us, but you know, it might not be perfectly square at the end of all this. So there's all those marks that we need. 1/2 inch and 3/4 all around the whole thing. I like to keep it flat until I'm done, but you can do whatever you want. If you want to go ahead and fold those pieces now, because we're going to do score marks and some cutting, I'd rather just keep it all together until I go in to do my markings. Now this is why this is a template, because what's going to happen is we did a 1/2 inch and then a 3/4, right? So this is the 5 3/4 by 7, okay, the 7 long. What I'm going to do for the template, because I need to create this, I can't, it's kind of hard to just go in the middle and try to do your own thing, is, I don't know if you can see, there are score marks on this. Obviously you don't want score marks on your frame, but since this is just a template, I'm using it to help me out. And our frame is 3/4 inches thick. So the first mark that I need to make here so I know where to do my lines so I can start cutting this middle area is at 1.5 inches. So on your board, go to 1.5 inches. So we already did a 1/2 inch, we did 3/4, and now we basically need 3/4 from there. So that makes it 1.5 inches. And I'm just marking it all the way down, right? Obviously I don't want marks here, but I'm doing it right now because this is just a template, so it doesn't matter. And then, so that's gonna be the front part of your frame here. But then you need these 2 little flaps. They're gonna be 1/4 inch and 1/4 inch. So 1/4 inch, and then when you fold it over, there's gonna be 1/4 inch that goes underneath. It's gonna kind of meet up a little bit with the 1/2 inch from before on the other side. So we did 1.5, and now I need to mark 1 3/4 and then at 2. So that's the easiest way. Just look at this, say, okay, 1 3/4. You don't really have to push down until you get to a certain amount, but whatever. So 1 3/4 and then at 2. Okay, and on the far end, you're gonna do the same thing, and it's probably easier if we just turn it around. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back. So now again, we're gonna do 1.5, right? And then we're gonna do 1 3/4 and at 2. So this is just because we're creating our own template. Obviously I have a template, I don't need to do this, but we want to get our marks right. So now we're going to turn it to the side. So on the short sides here, I'm going to go up a little bit. We already have our marks that we did 1/2 inch and then 3/4. Now we need 3/4 inches from there. So again, we're gonna mark at 1.5 inch, and this time we're only gonna do the 1.5 inch. And you can just mark it to the score lines that you made, because basically that's all we're gonna do. We're gonna cut on those lines. And I'm just gonna turn this back around. And again, on this smaller side, we already have our marks at 1/2 inch, at 3/4, and then we're gonna do another one at 1.5. Okay. So it looks confusing, I know. But I'm going to cut the middle part so that way you understand better, I think, and then we'll do the edges because that's the easy part. So this is where you're either going to use an X-Acto or again, your cutting tool. I'm going to use my cutting tool because I'm used to that and I like it. It's easy. But if you have an X-Acto, all you're going to do again is just have, oh, this little ruler too. I think I got this at the Dollar Tree, guys. It's a nice metal ruler. If you're going to use an X-Acto, just put down your your ruler nice and straight and use your X-Acto to cut, okay? But I'm going to use my cutting tool. So basically, hopefully you guys can see, and maybe I should have written, well, maybe that's better. We are going to cut from, okay, you know these registration marks that we have here? You know what I'm doing? I'm going to write it with a pencil, even though I don't really want to. That way you guys can see it better. Let me fill in the lines that we just made. Actually, I'll just do it here. I was going to say, let me, I'm just going to try to follow it. There's one right there. This is the one that we did on the opposite side. Because we can write all over this. Obviously, this is our template, and that's crooked. See, that's not straight, but that's okay. I just want you guys to be able to see the lines. Okay, so those are the lines on the inside, basically. It's that one that we came in from the top on the short sides, right? We came in the 3/4 here, so 1.5 inch mark, 1.5 inch mark from the bottom. And then on the sides, we did the 3/4, which ends up being 1.5 inches plus the quarter, right? So those are where we're gonna be cutting. So the way I do it is I put it on here and I kind of eyeball it at the beginning because I kind of have a little bit of score marks there so I can kind of see. And I'm gonna drop this down. Again, this has like a little notch and I can kind of see if that notch is right on the line, which is kind of where I wanted it. And then this notch, if I brought it down to where I needed it, I should start at the 1.5 inch mark. See these little guys, these little notches on the sides? I can line that up to 1.5. I can't do it right now because I can't put this thing in frame. But if you're at 1.5, press it down and then move up to, again, the last time you see that little line, which is basically here. It's lined up with this line. Okay, I'm gonna do the same. Hope you can kind of see now we opened it up. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. I'm just gonna turn it though. Again, I kind of start eyeballing it. And then once I get this thing going, I really make sure it's on the line. And I only cut right up to that last little line there. So this is all we're doing. We're opening this up, okay? And from here, to be honest, you can cut that with a scissor if you want, or again, just go back. I'm just gonna cut with the scissor to make it easy. That part doesn't have to be perfect because this is gonna be tucked back anyway. You're not gonna see it. So basically, we're just gonna cut this out. Hope you guys are following along because this is really cute and it's easy, in my opinion. So we're gonna cut this on the outer lines. Okay? So, I'm not gonna mess with these right now, but I'll show you in a minute just why we did that. I'll put this to the side. Again, you can do this. You don't have to make a template, right? This is just going to help me later, and I don't have to keep measuring this area and making these lines, or possibly not, or however. So, on the very corners, what we're going to do is, I'll bring it down here. After we did all our lines, we have, you know, lines coming down this way, some more going over this way, right? Around the whole thing. I guess I'll draw them in just so you can kind of see. Right? They're coming from the top because of our 1/2 inch and then 3/4 marks. So down here where they meet up, what I'm gonna do, and this part seems a little tricky, but it's not. I'm gonna slice that inner part right there. So we have this tab. We're not gonna completely get rid of this tab. What I do is I cut around this little tiny square that's gets created. See this little square here? We're gonna need that, so just leave it. So I kind of cut around that little square. You can just cut it straight if you wanted. And then I go in towards where it meets here, right in that area, and then I cut it off. Okay, so this little square is pretty much free. Hopefully you can see that. I'm gonna do it again on this side and it's gonna be backwards though. So I'm gonna cut up again just to that 3/4 line. I'm gonna bring my scissors right in here into that little square, and you can just cut it off if you wanted. Well, I'll show you. It'd be easier for you, but I like the nuance of kind of rounding it out a little bit. So you cut that piece off, you can cut this piece off, and then cut at an angle. So if you like that, that's fine. You have your little square here. I just kind of like rounding it off just a little bit because just in case it's a little bit too long or it gets in your way, it's not really going to obstruct what you're doing. So I just kind of trim it just a little bit more. So I'm going to turn around the other corner. Same thing. I'm not going to draw it in because basically by this time you should know. So that inner part we're going to cut right in here and then at an angle. And then again out here. So there's that little square. All right, and then the only other cut I'm gonna do is in here. We're just gonna cut this at an angle on that last little 1/4 inch from that 1/4 inch mark, because that way when you go to tuck it in to use it, it just looks nicer, okay? It's a little more tucked away. I was just gonna look at something. I'm like, is that the last cut somebody want to make? I sometimes like to also trim this angle up, just because, why not? So see at the very bottom how it's nice and square. Just kind of cut that back, just because, again, when you fold it under, it just makes it nicer, like a, not really a mitered corner, but something like that, okay? So hopefully I haven't lost you guys, because I think this is so cute. So just to there, just to the 1/4 inch. You're not cutting all the way into here, because that's part of your frame. That's the back side of your frame, right? And you can ask, like, why don't you just cut an X in here and then tuck that back? Because if I cut an X in here, you're gonna be missing portions up here and portions down here that you're gonna be able to see in the frame. So this is not done. So we'll do all folding in a minute. Actually, we'll do the folding right now, just so you can know what I'm talking about. And then we're gonna add an extra piece. That's what's funny. Even with Hunky Dory, they have another little piece that you're gonna add in here to make this part of the frame, right? Because if you fold this stuff back, this part of the frame's missing. So this is what you're gonna do. We're folding our frame back on that first score line that we made, which is at, what, 1.5? And then the next score line. So that leaves about 1/4 inch. Let me turn her over. Okay. I'm just gonna do it from the back because it's kind of easier to pull it back towards me. And then we're gonna score, do the other score, again at the 1.5 inch, plus another, the other 1/4. And like I said, it's not super perfect, but it's gonna be good enough to work. And then, so I'm folding these in towards me, out, right? But you'll see when we're done. So now all these guys, all those 3/4 inch marks that we made, we're gonna fold in, and then the 1/2 inch mark folds in on all of them. Again, it's easier to turn it over and do it this way than to fold it back with the front side showing. So again, this is just your template. You don't even have to do all this with it the way I'm folding it, because you're just gonna keep it flat. But if you just went right into doing your frame, this is exactly what you're gonna do. Don't write on it, obviously. These little tabs are now going to also fold in. And if you wanted to, with Hunky Dory, they just kind of like, they didn't do anything with them. They didn't actually glue them, but they just tucked them in. But I think it kind of helps if you do glue them, because if you glue this to this corner, it kind of helps keep it tighter. But let me show you. So this is the back of our frame, because we just folded everything up. So if you fold it in, fold everything in, and you turn it over, you have your little frame. Isn't that adorable? I mean, it worked out. Now, this is open right here, and this is open right here, right? There's no frame part of it. So for that, that's kind of why you need to know how large your aperture is. But like I said, I think it's 2 3/4, because I think I cut my little pieces at 3.5. So yeah, so it's 2 3/4 wide, and then we need to add a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch, just so that we have something to hold on to the paper. So 2 3/4 plus a 1/4 inch and another 1/4 inch plus 1/2 inch is 3 1/4. So you're gonna cut little skinny, 2 of them, pieces of paper that are 3 1/4 inches long by 3/4 inches wide. So it's very skinny. So we're gonna need 2 of these. But let me measure the length first. I said 3 1/4. 3 1/4. I just wanna make sure I'm there. And then we're gonna need 2 strips that are 3/4 inches wide. If I remember, or if I can write this down on my blog somewhere so that you guys will have the numbers, I will. The link will be in the description box, but don't expect that it'll be there today, because I doubt it will. This is a little persnickety because the little piece of paper I have is very small. It's very thin. And the next one, I'm just going to eyeball it and cut it. I don't want to trim it on the paper trimmer again. Okay. So with these guys, you just want to score them lengthwise at a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch. And you can see that's crooked. It's not perfect, and that's fine. But this you don't need for your template. This you need for your actual frame. I'm just showing you right now. So a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch. So basically a 1/4 and a 1/2 on both of them. So I'll do both the same way, but I'm just going to show you this one. And then on the other ends, on the short ends, a 1/4 inch. Oopsie. You know what? I don't know why I'm doing this. Anyway, I should do it this way. There's a 1/4 inch. So small. So on this one, you're just gonna, again, cut the little mitered edges. And the way I do it easy is I kind of go into the middle of it and just cut towards this area here. So just cut that end off, right? That little square. Again, you can go in there nice and square and cut it off, but I just go like that. So all you have is this little tab piece left. We just cut those squares off, right? And then on this one, and you need 2 of these when you do your actual card. Okay, so I just spent a lot of time talking about how to do this. I am going to get the papers I'm actually going to use, and I'm going to do all the scoring around the corners, around all the edges, all the sides, and then I'll show you how I use this middle piece as a template so I don't have to measure it every time, okay? So basically this little piece is going to be glued in here, and that makes that bottom edge, and then the top edge. Okay, so I want my frame in black, and I just want to show you I did all the scores again, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. Those are the only scores you have to do on your actual frame. For one that you want to use your frame, all you're going to do is do the scores at 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1/2 inch, 3/4 all around, and then go ahead and cut the pieces if you like. I just did that just so you can kind of see what's going on. Again, little flaps that are going to go back or wherever. So hopefully you can see that. Now this middle part still hasn't been done. So I'm going to turn my paper over. Okay. I'm going to get my template that we just made. I hope this is the one that we just made because I made tons of them. So now I'm like, yeah, this is the one because I wrote on it. And I was going to use a white inky pen so you can see it, but I'm just going to use a regular pencil. I think you'll still be able to see it. So we're going to take our template. Again, if you just wanted to make this, that this is the actual frame you use, that's fine. But if you're using it as a template, just take your template and line it up. It might not be perfect because obviously I did the cuts a little bit different, but as long as left to right and up to down you're centered, you're good, then you're good. And you're just going to, you can either take a ruler or whatever and just get in those lines. See how I'm just kind of drawing in there? Like I can feel in between where this opening is, where this pops up, right? And I'm just making that line. And literally this is probably the only line you have to make, to be honest, because if you want to draw this one, you can do that. You have to emboss it anyway, so however you want. But if you want to write it just so that you have that there, that's fine. Again, I'm doing this so I don't have to do all the measurements like we did earlier. So that's it. Okay, and the reason I'm doing that is so I don't have to come in here and emboss this. Now I know kind of where the marks are that we need, and we can kind of figure it out. Like this one I know I didn't do all the way through, but that's okay. So I'm going to put this to the side, and I am going to do my cuts. And you can emboss it first, then do your cuts, or you can cut it and then emboss it, however you want. It doesn't matter, because you have to do your 2 embossing lines, you know, your score lines. But I'm just going to cut this first. So I'm going to put it on here. Again, this is backwards, because this is the back of the frame. And I'm just lining it up, and I'm going to use those pencil marks to help me see where I need to cut. And hopefully they're straight enough, but if they're not, I will straighten them out. And you probably should have done the embossing lines first, to be honest, but I have it on a quarter, a mark here, so I can see that there's a quarter plus another quarter, and that's where I need to stop cutting, right? So we need 1/2 inch from this line here. Turn to the other side. And again, I hope I didn't lose you guys. Sorry if I did. I'm going to put that there. That's perfect. Okay. Again, I'm using my ruler to help me put it right on a registration line here, so I know I have to start 1/2 inch. Not 1/2 inch, sorry. Yeah, the quarter and the quarter before the other part there. Let me do that again. This is the centimeters. It doesn't really matter as long as you're eyeballing it and you do it pretty good there. Okay, I just want to make sure it's nice and straight. It didn't take me this long yesterday, but I guess because I'm on here and I want you guys to see that it turns out, I'm like, freaking out. Okay. And again, we have this middle section we can just cut with scissors. You can just get rid of that. And then we just have 2 scoring lines to make, and those extra little 3/4 inch by 3 1/4 inch pieces. And that's it. So we're gonna bring this over here, and I kind of can see that this is on this line here. You know what I'm saying? So I can kind of use that to help me out. Like I can feel in here that that's not the one I want. That's not, I want the 1/4 inch, right? So it's gonna be like around here. Where is it? Like there. And then I want the 1/4 inch from there. So there's an 1/8 and another 1/4. So I'm using this, I'm letting this bump kind of help me feel out where the marks are that I want. And I'm just gonna turn it again this way. And again, we're gonna do a 1/4 from here. Which I think I did a little bit opposite there. It needs to be this one. One more. There we go. Okay, and that is the back of the frame. So again, we're going to fold it towards us. You can cut off that little extra. Oh my gosh, have you guys watched Dark Crystal on Netflix? I even told my mom, like, you need to watch it. You guys need to watch it. It is so good. I mean, I think they did a really good job of honoring the movie, but the series, oh my gosh, but it's kind of brutal. I don't know, Miranda's watching it. I'm like, I don't think she should have been watching it. And now she's all about it. She keeps wanting to watch it every day. I'm like, she is not going to want to sleep on her own. She already hasn't been wanting to the last couple days, but that doesn't help. Anyway, so we're going to do all our score marks, and this one I'm going to be a little more careful because I had scored it. If you guys saw, I scored it on the wrong one, so I just want to make sure it actually gets scored correctly here. Okay, and then I'm going to score all the other edges just like I did earlier, so I'll do that. And I'll be right back once I cut out the little pieces that go on these other sides, and we'll assemble it. Okay guys, so I have all my pieces here. We're almost there. So I haven't talked about the card base that you're going to stick it to, because yesterday when or a couple days ago, whenever it was that I was working on this, I made the card base 5.5 inches tall, of course, it's 5.5 inches tall, you know, A2 size card. But we have to add a little more here. So you can't just cut 8.5 by 11 piece of paper in half and think it's going to work, because this little extra 1/4 inch that your card needs to wrap around, it well, adds in there, right? So, and I added a 1/4 inch to the length. So instead of this being 4 1/4 times 2, which is the 8.5 that your paper normally is, this is 8 3/4. But when I added it and folded it over, I still have a lot of overlap here, right? And then I didn't even cover the whole back yet. So what I'm gonna do is cut my paper at 5.5 inches tall, my 8.5 by 11. I'm gonna cut it on the length, right? So it's skinny and long. I didn't cut it halfway the other way like we normally do. So this is still the 11 long, but I cut it at 5.5 wide. So my first score mark I'm gonna do on this one, I'm just gonna do it like regular 4 1/4. I'm not gonna cut it yet though, because what I want to do, actually, I take that back. It's not gonna be 4 1/4. It's gonna be 4 1/4 plus an 1/8. I think we need a little bit extra on this backside, so it's gonna be at 4 3/8. Okay, I'm gonna put that line. I am gonna do a 1/4 inch from there because I know that the frame is only about a 1/4 inch, so I am gonna do the 1/4 inch mark after that. So 4 5/8. So 4 3/8, 4 5/8. Those are the only marks I'm doing right now. I'm not, well, because that's all we need. I'm not gonna cut this yet until after we see how much or how little extra paper we need. And I'm gonna get a fold. Actually, I want that to be the outer side, so I'm gonna fold it. This Recollections paper, sometimes I feel like it has a side that is shinier than the other. I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy, but I'm gonna, you can use a bone folder if you like at this point, but however you want to do it. Okay. I'm gonna keep this to the side for just a second because we still have to work on the frame just a little bit. So I hope I didn't lose you guys. I hope you think this is cute. I hope it's something you'll try. Again, your base paper was 7 by 5 3/4, and then we did all the 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch scoring all around the edges. And then you do your little scoring inside to do your, so it's not that hard. I just have to really explain it so you guys understand what I'm getting at, but then after that we're good. So as you can see, I have these little papers folded on the score marks, right? Folded in. The tabs can fold up. Okay, hopefully you can see that, because those tabs folded up is what's gonna glue into these areas. Okay, so there's gonna be a couple different areas. Now, You hopefully can see this looks like a staple, like a bracket going down. I'm gonna put it here. This is obviously the bad side of the frame, and to be honest, I want to use a wet glue because it works good, but maybe for today, just for right now, I'm gonna use some Tombow because I just want it to stick and then move on. But use a wet glue, okay, for all of this. I just want to do this real quick just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So we're gonna get that little bracket, one of these little flaps, we're gonna stick it right at the edge of this line, right where you cut. I'm just gonna feel it. You can see it from the other side, I suppose. Let me put these little tabs down just to get out of my way for now, but we are gonna stick them upwards. And I'm just trying to feel around, and you can turn this over if you need to turn it over, obviously, to see where you're putting your little frame piece, this bottom piece. That's too low. So that's good right there. That's a good way to do it, I think. Look at it from the front. Because now I can see where I am at, and I probably should have put the tape a little bit closer to the edge. My nails are totally getting in the way, guys, sorry. That's the only thing I was curious about, getting my nails, or doing my nails again. I'm like, they're gonna get in the way of my crafts. They might. Okay, so we just added that there. And you see, that's the bottom part of your frame. So now it's complete. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this top part. I'm gonna put the glue a little bit closer to the edge because I want that to be a little easier. And again, the little cup side up. And I'll turn it over again just so I can see. I'm just lining up that little edge. It takes a little coaxing. And if it's not perfect, you guys, big deal. I mean, it looks so cute. I don't think anyone's gonna sit there and, what did you do here? You know, I try to. Okay. I think this one's gonna be a little bit crooked, but that's okay. Again, my nails are really kind of in the way. All right. So there's our little frame. Again, we have these little tabs. You don't have to glue them down if you don't want to, because to be honest, when you look at it, you can't even tell. But those little tabs that are coming off of these guys, I kind of like to stick them down. But at the same time, to be honest, the other day when I stuck them down, it was kind of a pain in the buns. So maybe we don't even care about them. But just hook them around, okay? Just make sure these little tabs are hooking up and around your paper. Yeah, no, I was holding them down, and if for some reason the glue, even though I was using a quick dry glue, it was just taking a really long time to dry, and I was like, you know what, I'm so over this, so I just kind of didn't. But if you want to take the time, put some glue back in here, and then glue that little tab down. So, again, we have tabs here. We gotta put those in, pop those in, pop all the tabs in. We already have all our scores made, so basically as I push this together, it should just start making the frame shape. And that's it, guys. Again, if you want to glue those little tabs to this inner part so it's a little more professional and you know that, you know, it's going to be good, do that. For me right now, I'm just kind of like, it was okay. I'm okay with it. Let me refold this, though. I did this kind of crooked. I want to make sure. Okay, because we are going to now stick this down. I just want to make sure my card base is not crooked. My fold lines were a little bit crooked earlier. Okay, so the side that's smaller that we already scored, basically, we're going to use that. We're going to stick this to this. Now, if there was something you wanted behind here that's cute, put that first and then put your frame on top, obviously. I'm just going to put my little reindeer in there, but if you wanted him to have like little cute decorative paper or whatever you're going to do on the inside, do it. You know, add that in and then we'll put our frame. Now, with our little persnickety frame, I'm just going to put so much glue on the back of this. On all the little edges. So these little edges, this little edges. Again, I don't use tape for this because it will come apart eventually. I guess it depends on your tape, but glue will just dry and you won't have to worry about it again. So I'm kind of holding this together and placing it down where it should go. Obviously this glue dries clear, so I like that. And I mean clear, not shiny, just like a nice clear little But I'm still, again, pushing my frame together as I can. What I noticed from when I did this before is you really have to make sure the sides are pushed in. Because if you don't, they're going to push out. and it's going to get all over the place. So I'm talking about all of it. Inside, in here. I'm kind of pushing it down so that the paper makes contact, right? That's what I'm trying to get. All this little glue I'm going to remove with my nail here. Guess I'm going to stick it on my shorts. I don't know. I don't have anything here to help me with that. I'm going to kind of pick it up and give it a look-see. See, the back, that's much better. And then I can see that this bottom edge is sticking way out. So that means I need to push it in more before this glue dries. And I'm just pushing that down. So what happens is that obviously your paper does what it wants to do. So like as far as I made a box, but it kind of wanted to push back at me. So that's what I was checking right now. Just making sure that box is pushed all the way in. And since we have wet glue, we have the time to do that. I don't even know if tape would really work, because how would you hold this down? And I got glue all over my hands, guys, and maybe I shouldn't have because now it's all over. But try to be a little neater about it. I might have gone a little overboard on the glue. But as you can see, this glue, it's a tacky glue called tack glue. You can just kind of rub it away and it goes away. So if I'm holding this piece down, it's basically because if it moves at all, it's because it's not touching the paper where it should be. You know what I'm saying? The glue isn't touching. So I'm trying to hold it down. And I'm going to keep holding it down until I feel like it's dry. Whew, okay. I think we're good. I got a little glue where I didn't want it. I had to go wash my hands. There's glue all over my hands. So anyway, so when I fold this over, as you can see now, it fits nicely over. And now I can cut this off where it needs to be. So now you can just eyeball it. You can hold on to it and cut it off. One thing I did want to tell you guys about this tacky glue, and I mentioned it before, is that sometimes it warps your paper. So hopefully as it dries, it'll look nicer. But you can, mark this with a pencil, like turn it over. Where's my pencil? And then go to your paper trimmer and cut it off. Don't do it too tight, but just enough so that if you cut it there, it's gonna go to the edge of your card, okay? So, I have not decorated anything yet. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut out all the little pieces for my little reindeer guy. And he doesn't have a lot going on, so that's good. So he basically needs like a light tan, a tan color, a brown for like the little accents, and then the greens and the red for his wreath. So I'm gonna cut all these pieces out in my Gemini real quick, and I'll probably piece it together with some music over it because that's not really what this is about. Just have them ready and I'll be right back. gosh, you guys, my back is like breaking. This this is really cute. This one works out a lot better because they paired it up so that if you have, you know, your wreath stuff, but this is all dark brown stuff, but you also need a beige one of this. I know there's green paper stuck in there. You also need a beige one of this to go along with his little fur color, okay? So don't forget that. I was like, where is that other piece? It's this little piece. So basically that needs to be beige. These need to be dark brown, and these need to be tan and beige. So, so that was easy because I just put both of the pieces together and I rolled them through at the same time, so they kind of came out like this with the tan and the beige, and they came out perfectly. So that's how I did that. And then the other one I had to roll through a couple times, and you saw a little face there, but look how cute. And I made her little wreath, or his wreath, so that it can just kind of hang there, and the dimensional is kind of holding it together. You don't have to do that. It's not going to move anyway once I stick this to the card. But a little persnickety, not easy to do with my nails, kind of annoying. But that's okay. So that's gonna go on the inside of the card, and along with probably, I cut out the word dashing by because that was in here as far as this. So I thought, well, maybe I can put that on the outside with some kind of picture or something. I don't know what. And I have an idea what. And then I have to wish you a Merry Christmas. So I think I'm gonna put to wish you. I'm gonna stamp that on like some cardstock, and then a Merry Christmas on a different cardstock. It's kind of big, so I think if I put it in the frame all together, like the way they have it, something cute like this, I don't think it's gonna work. So, so I'm gonna do it on two separate pieces that we're gonna stick on the inside of the card. So let me get my card base, let me get whatever I'm gonna put on the front together, and we'll put it all together. So really quick, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna put this little hunky-dory picture on the front because it has the reindeer. Obviously they're not the same, but I'm gonna put that on there. But I just wanna show you real quick, I stamped the word to wish you a, and I fussy cut around it, then I stuck that on a red piece. So I'm just gonna show you. I did the green, stamped it, you know, cut around it, and then I got some red paper, and all I'm doing is, again, when you cut things like this, just move your paper, squeeze the scissors so that they close, but just move your paper around, okay? And again, handmade is not perfect. Obviously, we're doing our own shadow here, but it works. So instead of just a square, I'm kind of doing it like this, okay? Okay, guys, I am not one for paper piecing. I'm so over this. It was not hard. This one's not hard. I'm not gonna say it was, because it wasn't. But it just takes so much time. And then all the little pieces, and you get that kind of, you know, it's just too much for me. I'm going to use a tape runner for this because I don't want to warp my paper again with that wet glue. So there's just some Tombow that I have here. And I'm going to try to center this. So I know up and down, I had to cut some of this card away because it was long. It was longer than it was wide. So I know I do have some space on the card, but not too much. So hopefully, oh goodness. All right, well, you know what? I used a tape pen. That's what happens. It's a little too low here as it is over here, but that's okay. All right. This is what happens when I start kind of getting tired of something. I don't want to finish the project. But anyway, I love the card idea. This whole little paper piecing thing, I should have just not done that today. Okay, so we need to pop out our word, and hopefully, yeah, this has little holes in the back. And the only reason I kept it in this thing is because it has an eye, and the eye has a dot. Or, you know, the little dot for the eye. So I'm going to pop that out and hopefully not lose it. Did I already lose it? No, it didn't even come out. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to put this on here. If you want to just stress your little letters or do anything fun, of course, do that. Just want to make sure. So I'm going to show you real quick because I'm probably not going to waste your time gluing this down in front of you because it's going to take a while. I'm just going to put some of the glue with that little fine glue thing there, dashing by. I'll stick this down here, and then I'll open it up and I'll show you what the inside's going to look like. Okay, guys, we're almost there. So we have the little dashing by. That's really cute. It's a cute little card. And then on the inside, we're going to say, to wish you a Merry Christmas. Of course, our little guy's going to go in here. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do this. I probably should have put some background paper in there too, but that's okay. I'm going to pretty much just glue down the body, I guess, because I don't know. Oh, her little, there we go. So basically I'm just pressing down, like I said, the body there. You can glue down the leg, whatever it is that you want. Sorry, I was a little bit out of frame. And then to wish you a... and then Merry Christmas. I probably should just glue... oh, I totally glued where I didn't want to. Let me wipe that away. I should have put it on the card base, actually. dashing by to wish you a Merry Christmas. Aww. It's cute. So I like the frame thing. I think it's cute. Try not to get glue all over your fingers like I did. Maybe it's something we can cover up, add some ivy, something else, something cute around there. Whatever that you want. I'm gonna hold these down for a while because I'm telling you, this glue, it stays. It just stays really well, but it likes to buckle or warp, which is kind of annoying. And I guess if you really wanted to, you can take a pen and like make like something that the little guy's standing on. I just put him in there. This was basically to show you how to make the frame. I wasn't really too concerned with the rest of it. But so there it is. So thanks for watching, guys. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I will try and do like a write-up on my blog, but that's probably more to just have measurements, because other than that, I mean, it's harder for me to explain in writing what it is that you saw, right? If you can see it, that's usually better. But cute little card, dashing by. And then to wish you a Merry Christmas, and you have your little guy in there. He's so cute, and his little wreath still moves, which I thought was a cute thing to incorporate. So there's that guy, and then the other one that I made. This one, the way I did the little embossing here is I just did 2 score lines at 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, basically 1/8 and a quarter, and then did it on all 4 sides, so it has like some embossing, and then those little cards, and then of course it needs a sentiment. But you see, I didn't get glue on this one, just a little bit there. You know, whatever. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.